All right, Miss White, do you see the screen?
I do.
Awesome. We're just making sure everything's ready to go. Well, hello, parents and students. Thank you so much for joining us. I know that this is definitely a different way of having a dual credit meeting, but we felt like it's super important for us to be able to discuss some of the dual credit options at Hallsville High School as we're preparing for schedules and we're getting closer to time to need to sign up for the dual credit classes. So, again, thank you so much for being here with us. Just a couple of reminders. This is just about academic dual credit courses. If your child, your son or daughter is taking just CTE dual credit classes, you will be contacted by our CTE department. So we just kind of wanted to make sure and say that ahead of time. But they definitely will be in contact with you if you have any questions. So I'm going to turn it over to Miss White, and she's going to walk us through the information that you need to know.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Slayton. I just first want to clarify that if you're a senior and you've already taken dual credit, then a lot of this is going to be a refresher for you. I still recommend listening to the recording because I feel like that it's good reminders about our procedures and things that will be happening to help us get signed up, especially since we're in this unusual circumstance. So let's go ahead and talk about the first thing that everyone needs to think about is dual credit the right choice for them? With dual credit, it has a lot of advantages. Dual credit allows you to take and get the experience of a college class in a very familiar setting. You have familiar teachers, you're with your friends, you're at your school, so it feels like a more protected environment, and it's a more comfortable environment for our students. We also have a person who kind of helps facilitate those along with the teachers and takes care of our kids and keeps up with them. So they have a little extra support while they're at the high school taking dual credit. We also, it also is an advantage because they get to take these courses at a huge discount compared to what they would be taking them at a university. With all that said, there are some disadvantages sometimes to taking dual credit, especially if you take a lot of dual credit. There can be some problems when they go to the university. Sometimes one of the problems that we'll see a student have is they get to the university and now they have an extremely difficult course load because of the fact that the courses that were kind of considered more the easier courses have already been taken as dual credit. So that can be a problem. And there's also some degree plans that are complicated if you take up too much dual credit. I know we've had several students with engineering as their major that have had some problems having too much dual credit. So what I recommend for parents and students to do is if you know the degree plan you want and you have a pretty good idea of what college you want to go to or some ideas of prospective colleges, you really should reach out to the advisors there. Ask them what they think. Ask them what dual credit you should take, how many hours you should come in with, and just make sure that you're setting yourself up for success. Overwhelmingly, our students are happy they took dual credit. Most of them find it extremely beneficial, and most of them recommend it to others. So for the most part, it's a good thing. But each person needs to consider their own situation and just make sure it's the best choice for them. In the end, we all make the best choices we can with the information we have, and we try to do the best we can. So just kind of want to touch on that and just make sure everybody knows that there can be goods and bads of this. So we're going to move forward and talking about what is next. So one of the things, Ms. Slayton, would you mind going back one? Thank you. So one of the things that we need to make sure everybody knows is a change that's occurred at Hallsville High School is all of our dual credit academic courses are now through Kilgore College. So we need to just know that you're going to be applying and taking your course through Kilgore College. That is the college we've partnered with. I have a link here and we'll send this out to you guys on our website. You'll find the current forms from Kilgore College that have the instructions. And all the policies are explained in these forms for you to know what to expect when you take dual credit. There's 3 pages in this document. The last page you do not need to complete. I'll talk about that particular page later here in a second. But the first 2 pages are the instruction pages. So the first step for you is to go to Kilgore College website and complete the dual credit application. Now, if you're a senior and you have already taken courses with Kilgore, at your junior year, then you do not need to do a second application. Okay, you're not going to do a second application. You already have a KCID that you should have gotten a long time ago that you used during your junior year dual credit classes. So if you're a junior that's going to be a senior, don't worry about the application if you've already been with Kilgore. Otherwise, everybody needs to do the application. That's the first step. I want to talk about the application for a second. I did it with my son. You need to know that it's a little cantankerous. There's about 7 pages on the application, and so when he and I did it, it kept kicking us out. We would tell it to go to the next page, and then it would kick us out and tell us we had used it wrong. So don't get too frustrated. It only took about 30 minutes, even with it kicking us out over and over. So just know that that may be a little frustrating. I recommend saving after every page so you don't have to put the information back in if it kicks you out. Also, there are some very odd resident questions at the end. Just do the best you can with those and don't stress about those. Okay? On the application, there's also a place at the beginning where you're going to click that you agree that you understand all communication after that application, that they're going to send you one email that's confirming that you've applied, and they will send you some other information that they will set you up a KC email account. And you are clicking that you understand that all future communication will be through that KC email account. They will no longer email to your original email, like your high school email or your personal email. It's all going to go through that KC email. So that's just something you need to know because that's important later about communication. Ms. Layton, would you mind moving to the next one? Thank you. So let's talk about the forms. So I was saying a while ago that when you go to those forms, there's 3 pages. The first 2 are going to be your instructions, and the final page is actually the physical application where we write down the courses that you're taking, and we put how you qualify for a dual credit, and we sign off on it, and y'all sign off on it. That page, we are going to do that with you. If you are a junior that's going to be a senior, I think Ms. Dockery has already sent those to you guys and is working on filling that out with you. If you're a sophomore going to be a junior, I will be contacting you with those forms and helping you, and you're going to double check those and sign it and make sure they're right. So just kind of, know that we're working with y'all on that form because we want to make sure everybody gets signed up for the right classes. That's really important. We do this twice a year. So the first one you're going to get is only going to have your fall classes on it. So don't panic if you think, oh, I'm taking other dual credit classes. They're for spring. So just know we have to do this twice a year, this form. And so the one that we're going to send you now is just going to be your fall classes. And then when we collect that from you, we will send it with your transcript and any other information that Kilgore College will need. So you don't need to get your transcript. Don't go on the website and request it for this dual credit form. We will be taking care of that for you. Okay? So qualifying is going to be different this year. Normally, our students qualify for dual credit using the STAR EOC English 2 test. We were able to use that test and then move forward with our applications. But since, the state has so graciously waived that test due to the COVID-19 and quarantine, we don't have that result to use. So there's a couple of ways you can qualify for dual credit, and it's important. We're going to have to make sure everybody actually qualifies. You can use your SAT, ACT, PSAT scores, and you'll know the magic number for each of those. It's on that instruction sheet that I keep talking about that's in the forms document. So on there, it tells you all those magic numbers for each of those tests, and will tell you if you qualify for dual credit through that. The other way to qualify for dual credit is going to be your TSI. And we are looking at our options for TSI. Kilgore College is offering a testing option for TSI where you can contact them. And if you're interested in that, I'll be happy to send you the email from our Kilgore rep. I can tell you, though, it is more costly to take it at Kilgore than it is with us. However, at this point, we have not decided how we are going to administer the TSI because we are still very hopeful that we will be able to see our students in person and offer that either while school is in session or maybe over the summer before fall gets here. So you may want to hold, if you don't qualify through SAT, ACT, or PSAT, you may want to wait until we have some answers about our TSI option, or you may just be really anxious and want to go ahead and contact Kilgore and talk to them about taking it with them. That's entirely your choice, but we will have to qualify each student through one of those. Ms. Slayton, is there anything that you feel like you want to add to that?
No, I think we're just kind of waiting. I know there's lots of decisions that have been made here recently, and hopefully we'll have more decisions in the coming weeks. But that's really all I know as far as TSI goes.
Okay, thank you. Just kind of on tuition, this is one of the things we get a lot of questions about. So I want to start with the pricing. So this is the new pricing for this year that we got from Kilgore. Classes are $94 per credit hour. There's an additional $35 charge if it is a web-based or a hybrid course. Something I don't have on here because we just got it yesterday. There is, for the math courses, there is an additional $65 charge that gets them access to instructional materials. I think that, though, takes the place of a textbook. If I was reading it correctly, I think that's kind of what it's doing. So I just need to make sure that y'all know if you are taking one of the math courses, there may be an additional $65 charge to go along with that. So each student will have to calculate what their semester is going to cost because we have a lot of kids with different situations, so I can't give just a flat fee per semester. And if you're taking a summer course, it may be a different price. I know that we are not having our sophomores that are going to be juniors take any summer courses because it's too complicated with the qualifying measures and trying to get them in the classes in time. They fill up very fast. But I know we have some juniors that already qualify that are taking some summer courses. If you have questions, please be sure to reach out to Ms. Dockery about those. Also, tuition, let's continue talking about that. It's due mid-August to September. They give us a lot of leeway in when our tuition is due. They usually have a due date on their website for their students that are there at Kilgore College, but they give us quite a bit of room. However, we do not get we don't have any interaction with those payments. So we don't send you a bill. We don't send you a reminder. You have to be looking at that. Your student actually has to be looking at that communication between Kilgore and themselves through that Kilgore email and through their Blackboard. All of that is going to come through there. We really don't have anything to do with that. And then again, it will come due in January for the spring semester courses. So if you're taking both fall and spring, there are 2 bills, not just one. There will be one at the beginning of the year for fall and then one again in January for those spring courses. So please be aware of that. Please be looking for that because really a lot of times we get a lot of phone calls and a lot of emails asking questions and we're not much help on that because it's all through Kilgore. Now, if you see something you think is wrong or you think maybe your kid's not signed up for the right class or there's something, please reach out and let us know that. We'll be happy to try to work that out and help. We just always get a lot of questions about the tuition. We get a lot of questions about textbooks too. Textbooks, you can purchase them new. Kilgore on the instruction sheet tells you where to purchase the books. You can talk to them about what books you need. You can buy them used. Sometimes kids know someone that's a grade ahead of them, and so they just purchase them from one of those students. And sometimes people like to rent books. You can do that on Amazon. People like different things. I don't know. Everybody does that different, but a lot of ways you can buy textbooks. But again, we at the high school don't have anything to do with the college textbooks. Okay. All right. So grades and communication. So one of the things we need to talk about is, yay, you are a college student when you sign up for dual credit, and that's awesome. But that also means a lot of independence and responsibility. So we need parents to be aware of that because that is a huge adjustment. Some of these kids are just 15 when they're signing up for these classes, and so some kids aren't quite ready for that much independence. So we really want our parents to be on top of things. Please know that the high school does not have access to your student grades that are with the college. We don't know how your student is doing. We can't tell if they're getting their work done. We really don't have access to that. Only the student has access to that. We highly recommend that you get your students' Casey login information so that you can monitor their grades and their progress yourself. That's between, of course, you as a family, but that is our recommendation so that you know how your student's doing, because where the high school sends you progress reports, colleges do not. So please know that that is the case. We do not get their grade until the end of the semester. Also know that professors are only required to communicate with students. Most professors will not talk to parents. This is because you are a college student and they expect you to, conduct yourself as one. And so they need parents to understand that they are giving up some control when the kids sign up for dual credit. And I know that's hard because we're used to having such direct contact with our teachers, but we're not going to have that in this case. So please be aware of that. Please know that your student is going to have to be the one to email the professors if they're out sick, if there's something going on. That is really important that the student knows that no matter what, they have to send something to their professor to let them know what is going on so that their professor can help work with them. And most of them are extremely good about working with our students, but there has to be communication. Occasionally, a professor will contact us, the counselors, when there's a problem or if a student is having if there's just something where there's not some progress or a student's been absent or whatever the case may be, just so that we can talk to those students and parents, because we will touch in then. If the professor notifies us, we'll contact students and parents and talk about, what their options are and try to see what's going on with that student, if they're going to continue in the class or if they need to consider dropping the class. There's always a drop date. You need to know when that is. So that if you're struggling in a class and you don't want that on your permanent college transcript, you need to consider withdrawing from the class. So there's kind of some things there that we need y'all to know. All right. So Miss Slayton.
Yeah, I'll take it over from here. You did an awesome job going through all of the information that is super, super important for dual credit. And so I want just a couple of things that I know she said that I just kind of want to repeat. Dual credit is an awesome opportunity for a lot of our kids. Anytime we have our counselors meet with students and families, and in our course guide, we have lots of offerings. And you have to look at the course guide and look at dual credit and make sure that that's right for your student. We can definitely help walk you through the options, but you, as a family, need to decide, is this what's best for my student and my child, and kind of know, and I know we don't always, especially when they're 15, 16 years old, making decisions, their junior and senior year. We don't know 100% what their plan is for after high school, but kind of having, an idea of where you're going just so that you can make good decisions. So we just want to encourage you with that and know that it is a great experience. We have wonderful professors that are really good to our students, but you definitely want to make sure that your student is ready and is, able to do the course, because this is a transcript that will follow them from now until the time they complete college. And if they decide to go to grad school or anything else in their adult future, you want to make sure that first course that makes that transcript is good and that they're prepared for that type of decision. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to your student's counselor for the upcoming year. I know that they are very happy to help you, and we're happy to help you with any questions that you might have. So I hope that this was beneficial. Just like we've said several times in emails in the beginning of this presentation, we miss our students being in the building. I wish that we could be sitting face to face or seeing each other face to face in the cafeteria to be able to have kind of Q&A and at this point, but hopefully we will see everyone very soon.
Thank you, Ms. Slayton.
Thank you. You're going to